My friends, let me tell you a story that might touch your heart and make you think about life a little differently. Life, as we know it, is never balanced, but sometimes, out of struggle, a small miracle grows, like a flower pushing through a crack in the pavement. This story begins in a noisy corner of Lagos, at a small car wash not far from Ojuelegba Bridge. The place is always alive with chaos, horns blaring, conductors shouting destinations, the mixed smell of soap, engine oil, and hot dust. Inside that busy space worked 3 young girls. Their names were Amara, Sade, and Kemi, 3 secondary school students who were supposed to be in class but whom life had pushed into the streets to survive. Amara was the eldest, about 17. Tall and slim, her brown skin glowed even under the sun, and her sharp eyes never missed a spot of dirt on a car. She was the most serious of the 3. Sade, fair-skinned and lively, had an easy laugh that made people smile even while sweat rolled down her face. She dreamed of becoming a fashion designer. Kemi, the youngest, was small but fierce. She didn't talk much, but when she did, every word carried weight. The girls worked for a man everyone called Uncle Sly, a short, round fellow who wore a faded blue overall that soap had almost turned white. He was quick with words and even quicker to hold back payment. Stingy as if he printed money himself. That morning, the sun had barely risen when Amara arrived. She tied a scarf over her hair, mixed soap in a bucket, and began preparing for the day. "Ahoy, Amara," Sade called as she walked in. "You're never late, are you? Superwoman." Amara laughed. "If I don't come early, who will pay my mother's hospital bills?" Kemi stumbled in last, eyes still heavy with sleep. "You couldn't wait for me a little," she murmured, rubbing her eyes. Sade laughed. "Wait for you? You spend half the morning dreaming. Wake up, Joe." They laughed together, but the laughter didn't last long. The first customer of the day, a bus driver, had already pulled in. The girls rushed forward, water splashing everywhere. The Lagos sun does not pity anyone. Within minutes their uniforms were soaked, but they kept scrubbing and rinsing. Uncle Sly sat in a plastic chair chewing on a sausage roll, watching them like a king on his throne. "Amara," he barked. "That back tire isn't shining. You want the customer to complain?" "Yes, sir," Amara answered quietly, swallowing her annoyance. She needed this job. More cars arrived, soap and laughter filled the air. Between one car and the next, Sade started another dream talk. "Did you hear that new boutique in Suralere is looking for apprentices? If I can save a little, I'll apply." Amara rinsed a bonnet and sighed. "That's a fine dream. But school isn't even finished yet." Sade hissed. "What school? Look at me washing cars, how will I pay exam fees? If fashion design will feed me faster, I'll go for it." Kemi shook her head. "I'll still become a teacher. I don't care how long it takes." The others laughed, but deep inside each of them whispered a silent prayer for a better tomorrow. People passed by, office workers, drivers, touts. Some flirted, some insulted. Lagos rarely showed mercy to young girls on the street, but these 3 didn't flinch. They had dreams, they had heart. By midday, sweat drenched their backs. "God, look at the sun." Sade groaned. "This Lagos heat has no mercy." Uncle Sly only shouted from his chair, "Hurry up. Customers are waiting." And then it happened. A black Range Rover slowed down in front of the car wash. The car gleamed, tinted windows dark, black rims shining, the kind of vehicle that rarely entered small places like this. Everyone paused, even Uncle Sly. The horn sounded once, short and polite. A man stepped out. He was tall, handsome, dark-skinned, dressed in crisp white native wear and a gold wristwatch that caught the sunlight. His perfume drifted like fresh air through the soap smell. The girls stared, silently. He smiled, deep dimples marking his cheeks. Good afternoon. Uncle Sly hurried forward. Welcome, sir. Wash and wax or ordinary wash? The man smiled again. Full wash, inside and outside. And please, let those girls handle it. I like how they walk. Sade blinked. Us. This is a big car. Oh. Amara whispered, do it well, maybe there'll be a good tip. They began to wash carefully, as if bathing a baby. The man watched quietly, sometimes smiling when they joked. After almost an hour the car gleamed like glass. You girls did a wonderful job, he said. He opened his wallet and brought out 5 crisp 1,000 naira notes. Share this among yourselves. The girls froze. 5,000. Even Uncle Sly stammered, oh sir, that's too much. The man waved him off. No, it's what they deserve. Hard-working young women should be encouraged. As he turned to leave, he asked, do you girls go to school? Amara nodded. Yes, sir, when we can afford it. He smiled faintly. Keep pushing. Hard work pays. My name is Tiga. Then he stepped into the car and drove away, smooth as wind. For a few seconds no one spoke. Then Kemi screamed, 5,000. Jesus. Sade jumped. Look at that tip. Life can change any day. Amara simply watched the Range Rover disappear down the road, something stirring in her chest that she couldn't explain. Of course, Uncle Sly claimed a share, don't forget it's my soap and water you used, and the girls didn't even argue. They were too happy. That night, walking home, Amara kept replaying the man's voice. There had been something different about him, respectful, gentle, as if he truly saw them. When she reached home, her mother sat outside on a plastic chair. Mama, how are you feeling? Her mother smiled weakly. I'm managing, my daughter. How was work? Amara held her hand. It will be better soon, Mama. She didn't mention the stranger or the money. She simply tucked the memory inside her heart like a tiny seed of hope. That night she slept with a small smile, the kind that dreams build upon. Everyone you see smiling on the street has a story that presses against the heart. You can't tell by looking whose pillow is wet with tears. After that day when the fine man, Mr. Tiga, came to wash his car, life continued as usual. The girls still arrived early, still scrubbed cars until their arms ached, still laughed through the heat. But the thought of that generous stranger never left them. Each girl carried his words like a secret tucked under her tongue. At night they went home to their separate corners of Lagos, to lives that looked nothing alike but carried the same weight. Amara and her mother lived in one small room behind an old building in Shita. The zinc roof leaked whenever rain fell, but they had learned how to manage. Her father had died when she was little, and since last year her mother had been sick with a strange, dragging illness that made her weak and feverish. Every morning before work, Amara boiled hot water for her mother, washed her clothes, arranged a little pap for breakfast, and ran out with her bucket before the sun rose fully. Her mother always whispered the same prayer, God will bless you, my daughter. Sometimes Amara looked at her mother's frail body and felt a pain that no word could describe. Yet she still smiled, because hope was the only medicine they could afford. In her heart, she dreamed of wearing a nurse's uniform one day, working in a hospital, taking care of people, maybe even her mother. But that dream felt far away, like another planet. Sade's home was filled with the smell of frying oil and smoke. Her father used to be a motorbike rider until an accident broke his leg. Now he mended stools and cupboards when neighbors had work. Her mother sold bread and bean cakes each morning. Sade was the first child, so the family's hope sat squarely on her shoulders. Every evening she helped her mother slice onions or fry akara. Even when the smoke stung her eyes she still joked and laughed. That girl had a light spirit. Sometimes she flipped through an old magazine borrowed from a friend, the pages filled with pictures of elegant dresses and models. She would sigh softly, "One day I'll design my own line, Sade collections." Her younger brother laughed. "You and your dreams." She tapped his head playfully. "Leave me alone. Everything starts with a dream." Kemi's story was different. She didn't live with her parents but with an aunt whose tongue was sharp as a razor. The woman never appreciated anything Kemi did. If Kemi washed the dishes, she accused her of breaking a cup. If she swept, she pointed to a corner left unswept. Many nights Kemi cried quietly into her pillow, pressing it to her face so her aunt wouldn't hear. But she had a stubborn little flame inside her. She wanted to become a teacher, to stand in front of children and help them find a path brighter than hers. If I can teach children well, she told herself, maybe they won't suffer like me. You see these three girls? Life hadn't given them much, but they had something money couldn't buy: courage. The kind that makes a poor man wake up every morning still believing tomorrow might smile. And that was why, even when things were hard, they still laughed at that car wash. Because in Lagos, laughter is more medicine for hardship. 1 week later. A week passed since Mr. Tiga's visit. The girls had almost stopped expecting to see him again when one Friday afternoon the sun came down like fire. They were exhausted. Sade sat under a faded umbrella, fanning herself with a piece of cardboard. "If somebody brings me air conditioner now, I marry him immediately," she joked. Kemi laughed. "You want food or comfort? Have you even eaten today? Who has money to eat?" Sade said, rubbing her stomach. Amara was quieter than usual, washing a car slowly. She was thinking about her mother's medicine. She checked her pocket, only 500 naira left. Then a shadow fell across her hands. She looked up, and there it was again, the black Range Rover. Her heart skipped. The car stopped and the tinted glass slid down. Mr. Tiga smiled. "Good afternoon, my hardworking ladies." They all shouted, "Good afternoon, sir." He parked and stepped out, still perfectly neat. "How are you doing?" he asked, looking around. Sade laughed. "We are surviving, sir. This Lagos sun is trying to kill us today." Tiga chuckled. "I can see that. Let me buy you some cold drinks." Before they could answer, he had already crossed to the kiosk nearby and bought 3 chilled bottles of Pepsi. He handed each girl one. "Drink," he said with a smile. "You deserve a little rest." Uncle Sly pretended to be busy, but his ears were wide open like antennas. The girls drank gratefully, the cool bubbles chasing the heat from their throats. For that short moment they forgot about the dust, the soap, and the sting of the sun. "You remind me of my younger sister," Tiga said softly. "She worked hard like you. She never gave up. Today she's an accountant." The girls listened like students at a sermon. "Never let where you start determine where you finish," he continued. "You can come from anywhere and still make it." Sade murmured, "Sir, we are trying, but school fees are not easy." Tiga nodded. "I understand. Life isn't easy, especially for honest people." He looked at each of them. "Amara, Sade, and little Kemi. I'll stop by again soon. Maybe we can talk more about your plans." He handed them a small envelope. "Use this to buy lunch. Hard work deserves a bit of joy." Before they could even finish thanking him, he was already waving and driving off. They opened the envelope, 10 crisp 1,000 naira notes. Kemi almost fainted. 10,000. Sade screamed, "Oh my God. This man is mad, in a good way." Amara clutched the envelope tight and whispered, "God, this must be a sign." That evening they shared the money equally and went home with lighter hearts. Amara bought good food for her mother, rice, fish, a few fruits. Her mother smiled for the first time in weeks. Sade bought fabric for sewing practice. Kemi hid her share under her mattress so her aunt wouldn't find it. They all slept at night peacefully. But as Amara lay awake before dawn, she kept thinking, who exactly is this Mr. Tiger? Why does he care about us? She didn't know that the answer to that question would soon turn their simple lives upside down, though not in a bad way. Life has a funny way of showing a glimmer of light at the end of a dark tunnel. You might think nothing is happening, yet somewhere, destiny is quietly preparing a surprise. After that Friday when Mr. Tiger bought them cold drinks and gave them the envelope, the girls couldn't stop talking about him. His name filled every conversation at the car wash. Amara, Sade said one morning, are you sure that man isn't an angel in disguise? Amara laughed. Which angel drives a Range Rover? Kemi cut in, maybe a good Samaritan. The way he talks, it touches my heart. Even Uncle Sly noticed their brightened moods. He teased them, don't forget that it's work that brought you here, not man. They just nodded. Everyone knew he was jealous that the generous visitor hadn't left him an envelope too. Days passed. Rain began to fall in short, angry bursts, the Lagos kind that starts, stops, and starts again. Business slowed, few people wanted to wash cars when the streets were muddy. Money was scarce. Then one Wednesday morning, while they were rinsing a tricycle, a long, soft horn sounded. P.M. They turned, and there it was, the black Range Rover. Sade almost dropped her sponge. It's him again. Uncle Sly straightened up, pretending to be calm. Oh, Oga Tiger, welcome sir. Tiger stepped out, smiling as always. My people, still working hard, I see. Yes sir, they chorused. He walked around the small yard, watching the water run down the drain. Then he said, today I didn't come to wash my car. I came to see you. The girls glanced at one another, surprised. I've been thinking about our last conversation, he continued. You girls have big dreams but small chances. I run a youth foundation that helps young people stay in school or learn a trade. I want to sponsor the three of you. For a heartbeat no one moved. Even the breeze paused. Amara blinked. Sponsor? Sir, you mean you'll pay our school fees? Yes, Tiger nodded. School fees, books, uniforms, everything. And if any of you prefers to learn a trade, the foundation will pay for that too. Sade clutched her chest. Jesus. Sir, you're serious? Tiger smiled. I don't have time to joke in this sun, my dear. Tears sprang to Amara's eyes. She dropped her sponge and covered her mouth. Sir, God will bless you. You'll never lack. Even Kemi, who always tried to look tough, sniffed quietly. No one has ever helped me like this before, she whispered. Don't cry, Tiger said gently. Just promise me you take your education seriously, no matter how hard life becomes. Yes, sir, they chorused again, their voices trembling with excitement. Uncle Sly cleared his throat. Oga Tiger, God bless you all. These girls really work hard. Tiger nodded, eyes still on the girls. I'll come tomorrow with the forms. We'll start the process immediately. That day they could hardly finish washing the remaining cars. Their hands worked, but their minds were far away. That evening, the car wash buzzed with gossip. Customers asked, who's that fine man who visits you girls? Sade smiled shyly. A good man, God sent him. Some boys on the street teased them, you've caught a big fish oh. Amara hissed, not every man is a fish. Some are destiny helpers. Kemi just kept smiling quietly. Later that night, in her small room, Amara opened her old school bag and pulled out her torn notebooks. On one page she had once drawn a picture of a nurse holding a stethoscope. She touched the drawing lightly. Mama, it looks like my dream might come true, she whispered. Her mother smiled weakly from the bed. My daughter, didn't I tell you? God sees tears that make no noise. Across town, Sade couldn't sleep either. She spread her sewing needle and bits of fabric on the floor, imagining herself taking measurements and running her own fashion shop someday. Sade collections, she whispered proudly. Kemi sat by her window again, watching the stars. She imagined a classroom full of children and herself at the blackboard, teaching ABC. For the first time in a long while, she felt peace. Next morning they reached the car wash even before Uncle Sly. They cleaned the buckets, arranged the hoses, and waited eagerly. When the horn of the Range Rover finally sounded, they almost screamed. Tiga stepped out in jeans and a plain t-shirt, carrying a brown envelope. "Good morning, my hardworking team." He pulled out some paper stamped with the logo Tiga Youth Empowerment Foundation. "Write your names, schools, and what you'd like to study or learn," he said. "We'll begin registration next week." They grabbed pens quickly. Amara wrote nursing school. Sade wrote fashion design. Kemi wrote teacher training. Tiga collected the forms and smiled. "Perfect. From now on you're not just car wash girls. You're students in progress." They laughed and clapped. Kemi almost danced. Even Uncle Sly grinned. "Oga Tiga, may thunder of blessing follow you everywhere." Tiga laughed loudly. "Thunder of blessing. I'll take it." Everyone laughed with him. For that moment, happiness filled the air like soap bubbles catching the sunlight. But blessings often attract little tests. That same afternoon, after Tiga left, a stylish woman entered the car wash. She wore a sharp dress, carried a designer bag, and walked with purpose. "Excuse me," she said, "is this where Tiga usually comes?" The girls exchanged glances. "Yes, Ma," Amara answered politely. "He comes sometimes." The woman hissed softly. "Umph. No wonder he keeps missing appointments. Anyway, tell him Nina was here." Before they could ask anything, she turned and drove off in a silver car. Sade blinked. "Who was that?" Kemi shrugged. "Maybe his sister, or a colleague." But Amara's face showed a trace of doubt. She said nothing. That evening, rain returned, hard and loud, beating against zinc roofs, washing the streets clean. The girls huddled under their umbrella stand, laughing at how the weather behaved like a drama film. "I'll miss this car wash if we stop coming," Kemi said. "Me too," Sade replied. "Even Uncle Sly's shouting has become part of my day." Amara nodded. "We'll still visit him. This place is where our story began." They watched the soapy water swirl into the gutter, and for that brief moment they felt proud of their struggle, proud of the road that had brought them here. A clap of thunder made Amara jump. Sade laughed. "Look at you." The rain kept falling, but inside their hearts there was light. Sometimes when a person's heart is pure, heaven opens a small window and lets in the breeze of destiny. The girls didn't know it yet, but the next time Tiga appeared, he would bring something far bigger than forms, something that would shake their world like the wind shakes a mango tree. The following week arrived like harmattan wind, dry, slow, and full of expectation. Every morning the girls looked toward the street, waiting for the familiar sound of that Range Rover horn. Monday came and passed. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday arrived, still no Tiga. Sade began to worry. "Maybe he traveled," she said. Kemi frowned. "Or maybe that fine woman told him something." Amara shook her head. "Don't think badly. Maybe he's busy. A man who helps many people must be busy." But in her heart, a tiny thread of doubt stretched. Lagos had taught her that promises could vanish as quickly as network signal during rainfall. By Friday, they still hadn't seen him. Even Uncle Sly teased, "Your angel has flown abroad. Better face your work again." They didn't answer. Hope was thin, but it was still hope. Saturday morning. The rain that had fallen through the night left the air cool and bright. They set up the car wash, laughter returning little by little. Around noon, a small boy ran in shouting, "Somebody is calling you outside." They rushed to the gate and there he was. Mr. Tiga stood beside a pickup truck loaded with curtains. He wore a simple polo shirt and jeans, his wide smile chasing away all their doubts. "Good morning, my girls." They squealed in excitement. "Sir." He laughed. "I told you I wouldn't forget. These boxes are for you, school bags, books, shoes, even some provisions. The foundation approved your sponsorship yesterday." Amara covered her mouth as tears filled her eyes. Sade hugged Kemi tightly. "It's happening." Even Uncle Sly stared as though seeing a miracle. Tiga continued, "We've also paid your school registration. On Monday morning, you report to the foundation office in Suralia. From there you start orientation." Kemi dropped to her knees. "Sir, God bless you. Bless your generation." He gently lifted her up. "No need to kneel, my dear. Just keep your promise, stay focused." He opened one of the curtains. Inside were brand new notebooks printed with Tiga Youth Foundation on the covers. The girls touched them like treasure. Uncle Sly wiped sweat from his forehead. "Oga, your kind heart is rare, like fuel without a cue." Everyone laughed. After Tiga left, they sat under the umbrella staring at the curtains. Sade whispered, "So life can truly turn around. A month ago we were begging for lunch money." Amara nodded. "Look at God. From car wash water to school water." Kemi giggled. "School water isn't this dirty." They laughed until their stomachs hurt. That evening, they shared some of the provisions with other workers. People gathered, clapping and blessing them. For once the car wash girls were a source of inspiration, not gossip. But blessings often come with small tests. That night, as Amara packed her things for the orientation, there was a knock on the door. When she opened it, she froze. Standing there was the same elegant woman who had visited the car wash, the one called Nina. Her perfume was heavy, her eyes were cold. "You're Amara?" she asked. "Yes, Ma. I hear you and your friends have been collecting things from Tiga." Amara nodded carefully. "Yes, Ma. He's helping us." Nina hissed. "Helping you? That man is my fiancé. Everything he has, he built with me. If you girls know what's good for you, you stay away from him." She pointed a manicured finger at Amara's face. "Tell the others, I don't want to see you near him again." Before Amara could respond, she turned sharply and walked away. Amara stood there, heart pounding. Fiancé. So he was engaged. She sat on her bed, torn. If she told the others, their joy would turn to confusion. If she said nothing and trouble came later, it would hurt even more. By morning she decided to keep quiet, at least until she knew the truth. Monday came bright and clear. The girls wore their best clothes, their new bags slung proudly over their shoulders. Excitement radiated from their faces. When they reached the foundation office, a large banner hung at the gate, Tiga Youth Empowerment Foundation, building tomorrow today. Inside, the hall buzzed with young people like themselves. They filled forms, took ID cards, and listened as a woman gave a speech about discipline and hard work. Then the door opened and Tiga walked in. The crowd erupted in applause. He waved. "Welcome, everyone. This place is the start of your future." When his eyes found Amara's, he smiled proudly. But Nina's words still echoed in her mind. After the event, she waited by the exit. When Tiga was about to leave, she ran up to him. "Sir, please, can I speak to you for a moment?" He stopped. "Is anything wrong?" She hesitated. "A woman came to my house yesterday. She said she's your fiancé." Tiga sighed, a long, tired breath. "So she's still doing that?" He looked at her gently. Nina is my ex. We broke up long ago, but she hasn't accepted it yet. I don't blame her pain, but don't worry, my help to you is clean. No strings attached. Amara nodded, relief washing over her. Thank you, sir. He smiled. Focus on your dream. Your success is all the thanks I need. She walked back inside, her heart finally calm. The final day at the car wash. After a week of orientation, classes were about to begin. On Sunday, the girls decided to visit Uncle Sly and say goodbye properly. They reached the car wash early, but when they saw the gate they froze. The whole place looked new, freshly painted, with a shiny signboard that read, Car Wash Queens, sponsored by Tiga Foundation. Sade screamed. Look at our name. Kemi jumped. Uncle Sly rebranded. Uncle Sly came out grinning. Not Oga Tiga's idea. He said this place should stay open for other girls and carry your story forward. From today, you're role models. Tears filled Amara's eyes. Sade touched the signboard, whispering, Is this real? Kemi shouted, Car Wash Queens. We've made it. Neighbors gathered, clapping and cheering. Children ran around chanting, Car Wash Queens. Car Wash Queens. Amara turned to Uncle Sly. Thank you for everything, sir. He waved his hand. You taught me something, that no hustle is too small. They took pictures in front of the signboard, holding their buckets proudly, smiles brighter than the morning sun. Sometimes, God uses ordinary water to wash away shame. The same street that once mocked them now celebrated them. But blessings don't mean the struggle is over. Every new level comes with its own test. As they waved goodbye to Uncle Sly that day, a new chapter began, bigger, brighter, but also heavier with responsibility. Walking home together, Sade said, You know we didn't just wash cars, we washed our destiny clean. Kemi laughed. True talk. Car Wash Queens forever. Amara smiled, looking at the sky. Only God could write a story like this. The sun began to set behind them, the signboard still glowing in its light. After that day when the new signboard appeared, Car Wash Queens shining boldly above the gate, life tasted different for the three girls. Hope had finally put on clothes. All over the street, people were talking. Did you hear about those car wash girls? One woman told her neighbor. They got scholarships. Another replied, God is alive. Hard work still pays. Children ran up and down, chanting their new name, Car Wash Queens. Car Wash Queens. For the first time, the neighborhood buzzed with good gossip. Later that night, Amara sat outside her compound. The lagoon breeze brushed her face while she held one of her new notebooks. The moonlight touched the fresh white cover. Inside, her mother slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. She whispered, Papa, wherever you are, see your daughter now. I'll wear white one day. I'll save lives. Far away, generators hummed and the city glowed. Lagos nights are never quiet, but tonight the noise sounded like music. Across town, Sade was still at her mother's stall, open even after dark. She spread the fabrics Tiga had given her for training. Mommy, look at these materials, she said excitedly. Soon I'll sew a beautiful gown for you. Her mother laughed. Just finish school first before you become a fashion madam. Sade giggled. Both will happen together, you'll see. From his chair, her father raised a hand. Dream big, my daughter, but keep your heart humble. Yes, sir, she answered, smiling. At Kemi's house, the candlelight flickered on her face as she sat by the window, writing in her notebook. Her aunt, softer these days, had even cooked jollof rice that night. Kemi wrote carefully, One day I will open a school for girls like me. I'll call it Queen's Academy. She smiled, blew out the candle, and whispered a short prayer of thanks. Sometimes the same hands that once squeezed soapy sponges will hold pens and rulers. The same feet that once stepped in muddy water will walk through school corridors. That's how grace works, it lifts quietly. But every sunrise brings new challenges. 2 weeks later, the foundation held a press conference. Reporters filled the room. Cameras flashed. The 3 girls stood proudly in new uniforms while Tiga spoke at the podium. "These are our first beneficiaries," he said. "They represent the strength and resilience of the Nigerian girl." Applause thundered through the hall. After the event, Tiga leaned toward Amara. "Next month we're having a bigger program in Abuja. I want you 3 to come and share your story." Amara's eyes widened. "Yes, sir," she said, hardly able to believe it. But as they were leaving, Amara noticed a man in a suit speaking quietly with Tiga. The man's expression was serious. She caught only the words, "Sir, you haven't told them yet." Tiga shook his head. "Not yet. I'll explain after the trip." From a distance, Amara couldn't hear more, but she felt a small knot of curiosity twist inside her chest. Sometimes, blessings carry secrets that unfold slowly, like a newspaper page lifted by wind. And that secret, the one Mr. Tiga was hiding, would test whether the girls could remain queens or lose their crowns. So if you're listening tonight, remember this: no struggle is too small for God to notice. Today, soap may burn your hands, but tomorrow those same hands might sign a check. As for Amara, Sade, and Kemi, their story has only just begun. The road ahead will be sweet and rough, bright and shadowed, but it will be theirs. Stay tuned for part 2, where dreams meet destiny and light still shines, even when the rain threatens to fall again.